Yesterday we covered the brazen corruption and just gobsmacking insanity of, those the word choice was great, of Trump getting his own DOJ to pay him like $230 million is what they're reportedly considering and planning, because he was wronged by being investigated by the DOJ before. So our tax dollars are going to pay Trump because he committed crimes and he didn't like being investigated for them. Well, every new day you wake up and we can't even do another story about that because we have a new corruption thing. And when Trump was confronted on it, he got really upset with the reporter, Kaitlan Collins. But first, the background. The Washington Post reports, this is in relation to a pardon. President Donald Trump pardoned cryptocurrency titan Changpeng Zhao, whom the U.S. government convicted of violating anti-money laundering laws in connection with his crypto exchange Binance. So Binance, the founder, was in jail. Then Trump, this next part is key, pardons him. But what happened before he pardoned him? Earlier this year, MGX, an Emirati-backed investment firm, agreed to use World Liberties, that's Trump's crypto thing, dollar-backed stablecoin USD1 for a $2 billion investment in Binance. The deal was a huge win for World Liberty Financial, which effectively received a $2 billion bank deposit. At the time, Binance was actively lobbying for Zhao's pardon. So as they're lobbying, they put a bunch of money, Trump gets a pouring rain of money, which his crypto venture is now the wealthiest part of his portfolio. The thing increasing his wealth the most. They give him a bunch of money, essentially, benefit his business a bunch, and then all of a sudden, I think Mr. Zhao he's being wronged in jail. And I'm doing my best with the pronunciations. I don't know for sure if I'm messing up. I do apologize. But then Trump was asked about this. Just like we saw with the UAE situation, just like we saw with, what was the name? Elizabeth Fago. And I'll remind you of that in a second. Now, it's a pay to play, baby. I saw some Trump supporter post, hey, I've loved Trump's presidency. It's been almost perfect. But this whole pardoning thing of the Binance guy, I think it might look to some people like a really fraudulent, corrupt act. So maybe just for the PR, because it'll make Trump look like he's corrupt, when of course he's not, but he keeps doing things that make it look like he is. While you watch this, please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate the show. All it takes is a tap, so tap that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The founder of Binance. Can you explain why you chose to pardon him, and did it have anything to do with his involvement in your family's?
Who is that?
The founder of Binance. He has an involvement in your own family's crypto business.
I believe we're talking about the same person, because I do pardon a lot of people. I don't know. He was recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that. Are you talking about the crypto person? Yes. A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail, and they say that he was not guilty of anything. That what he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. But let me just tell you that.
Oh my gosh. Also, that's a really incoherent statement. You don't know nothing about nothing. Wait. What is it? Let's just ponder that for a second. What does it mean to know nothing about nothing? I feel like that's sort of like dividing by zero. Feels mathematically impossible.
About crypto? You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. But
don't we all know nothing about nothing? Because you can't know anything about something that isn't. I didn't know that was
check. True.
Thank you, Don Jr. That I was going to say when Trump's like, everyone was recommending me pardon him. It's like, yeah, all your sons in your business partners, everyone around you who's like, hey, this is going to work out really well for you. You could give him some assistance because of the increase in wealth that he's at least associated with.
What he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing, you fake news. But let me just tell you that...
Sorry, I'm pausing it so many times. It sounds so much like he's about to say a slur. You know nothing about nothing, you fake news.
Much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing, you fake news. But let me just tell you that he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him. But I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support. And they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime, that he was persecuted by the Biden administration. And so I gave him a pardon at the request of a lot of very good people.
You don't know nothing about nothing, you fake news. He used the hard F there on fake news. I'm trying my best. Do you understand? It's like every day. Just like a little circus clown. And sometimes it's hard. So. Okay. So very corrupt and very brazen. And the fact that we had to live through them saying Hunter Biden making money doing business while Joe Biden was vice president with no connection to Joe Biden was proof that Joe Biden was corrupt, because even the appearance of him going around with the name Biden in regions that Biden's vice presidency would have some impact over and leveraging his name, like everybody does, in a much more predictable way, in no coordination with Biden that they could prove, that even the appearance of that disparages the office of the presidency. We had to hear about that from Giuliani, traveling around the world, butt dialing reporters, literally. And we had to hear Victor Shokin this, Victor Shokin that. We had to see Hunter Biden's manhood all up on posters. We had to hear James Comer talking about how we're going to impeach Joe. And then now it's not that, well, Trump has no association with what his sons are doing, but they are making a lot of money for themselves. It's that they're making money for him with the very people who are then impacted by Trump's presidency in these obvious, maybe not said, but unsaid, clearly wink, wink, quid pro quos. I don't ever want to hear the name Hunter Biden from MAGA in relation to quote unquote corruption if you don't care about this, because this just it makes that look like peanuts, as Trump says. Now, this isn't the only time. You have this story of someone named Miss Fago. As I said last time, there's a different pronunciation that I would be shocked if it were pronounced that way. But Miss Fago had raised millions of dollars for Mr. Trump's campaigns and then paid $1 million to go to a fundraising dinner with Trump and then used that face-to-face access with Trump after she had spent a bunch of money for him and paid him to be at his fundraiser, convinced Trump to pardon her son. Now, that's wild. You might remember, though, it led me to thinking, would my mom do that for me? Here's a flashback. You know what's running through my head? That's bad. That's corrupt. That's terrible, obviously. Would my mom do that for me? Let's see if we can get her on the phone. Let's call. Let's go. Okay, let's see. Let's see if my mother would do this for me. Please answer. Be there for me, mother.
Hey, Louie.
Hey, we are recording a segment right now, and I just want to ask you a question, if you're okay being on the record on the segment.
Is my voice going to be on?
Your voice will be on. We can obviously not post it if you don't want it to be. But here's the question, and then you can approve it afterwards. If I engage in tax fraud, let's say, and
plant-based, pellet, meat-free. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
You won't die from putting that on your back.
What is happening? Okay. Are you
on our side?
You there with me? Okay.
What?
Here we go. So let's say that I pleaded guilty to using my employees' taxes for my own personal use. Would you out of love for me, go and pay a bunch of money to have dinner with the president to convince him to pardon me?
No. I would not.
Dang it. Well, Elizabeth Foggo is a better mom than you.
Who?
A woman who did
You on the
that.
speaker.
Okay, that's the only question.
So, hang on a second. So, did you want the answer to be yes?
I wanted the answer to be whatever was your honest truth.
Yes.
You know what? What did you want it to be?
So- I think we got what we need. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, bye. I wanted to be yes. All right. Then the segment goes on, we continue, and she calls back and revises her answer. Hey, we're still recording the segment.
We were discussing it. I thought you were saying, would I pay somebody off?
It's kind.
Would I commit fraud myself
Oh,
to get you out? That's what I thought you were asking.
Okay.
But if you were just Connor was saying he thinks you were asking, would I find a way to get in front of the president and request a pardon?
Right.
And that I would do.
Oh, okay, good.
But I thought you were saying, would you pay off people? Would you
Right.
commit fraud?
Right, I understand. Yeah, I understand how it could. It's kind of it. That's the corruption of it, because this is a story related to Trump. But I appreciate that you would try to get in front of the president.
That I would do, and I would succeed.
There it is. Mommy for the win. Yeah, so you can't blame Miss Foggo. Of course, it makes sense she would do whatever she can to try to get her son out of prison. The person you blame is Trump for it working, allowing himself to either have his campaign enriched or his personal businesses enriched, and then doing people favors for that. During that same press conference where Trump was asked about that, you had Stephen Miller doing a little thing people call glazing.
Let me just say, Mr. President, that this country was going to die without you. This country was going to actually die without you.
Actually? Literally?
This was a country on the verge of dying, and you alone saved it. And we
That's so culty. You alone.
There's something
saved
fucked
us.
up about that motherfucker.
Then Trump, at some point, woke up in a cold sweat thinking about Obama and thinking about how Trump, or I should say more so, thinking about how he lost to Biden in 2020. Even though he ended up going on to win in 2024, he still can't get over that. And he's still lying about it. And he posted, ask former President Barack Hussein Obama whether or not he really believes that in 2020 Joe Biden got 15 million more votes than he did in 2012. Additionally, ask him why it is that Joe Biden beat Obama in every single swing state with the black vote in 2020, even though black voters hate him. but in no other state, the 2020 election was an illegal scam hoax that the people of our great country will never forget. I do think he's laying the groundwork to engage in some serious improprieties in future elections by saying, well, we have to take these unprecedented steps to prevent another stolen election. That's why I think he keeps this. And he'll never get over his humiliation of losing in 2020. But I was fact checking. If I read it correctly, obviously he's lying about the election at large, but then even the specifics, Biden might have gotten larger raw totals of the black vote just because it was a historic turnout on both sides. Biden ended up winning, but Trump had huge voter turnout as well. It was just a high voter turnout election because we were in the middle of a once-in-a-century pandemic that was being botched, and that political tensions were higher than ever, and people more fixated on politics than ever before, stuck in their home, not knowing what was going to happen. Of course, that's going to be an environment where more people are going to vote than when Obama is running against Mitt Romney. Does that really shock you that there's going to be higher voter turnout when Biden is running against Trump, who's the president, during a pandemic and everything's spiraling out of control? We're losing more people than all the other countries, and everyone has reason to be more locked into politics, and they have more time to do so as they're stuck in their homes. You think that environment, it's really shocking to you that there was higher voter turnout than Mitt Romney running against Barack Obama? And their debates were like, well, sir, I very much disagree with you, but you are a very nice man. Of course, the division was up and the stakes were higher. And so the raw total maybe, but the percentages, he's not even correct about that, interestingly, which is the only real metric that matters. And otherwise, every time they point to unprecedented elements, it's what I just said. Because, yeah, the election was going to be unprecedented because the circumstances were unprecedented. But he just keeps on lying about that. And I've been having this feeling a lot about, I made the joke about aliens. If they are planning on just wiping us out, I think now's a fine time for them to do it. And I say that very jovially because jubilantly, because I don't want us all to die, of course. And I just want out of this timeline that we're in. And, they talk about quantum physics, alternate reality. I just wish we could hop over to one that's different, where we don't have to see this on the official rapid response Trump team account. Time Magazine, Trump's World. Look at him. And then they said, Commander-in-Chief. And it's a photo of Trump. And I gotta be honest, I know they think he looks epic. He looks ill. He really looks ill. That's not a great photo of him. He's like, ugh. He's sweaty, kind of glistening a little bit too much. I don't know what his hand is doing. Looks like he's holding a gun. But they're very hyped about that with his now gold office. I want out. Then you have Jesse Waters running a segment with the lower third Chiron that says, Newsom's the new it girl. And Newsom responded, no, I'm your new daddy. Good. I mean, whatever. In the world with Trump saying, I'm daddy, I'm this, you know what? Actually, I think we have. Cole just put together something relevant for this.
I'm glad
Let's see. Wait, no, I need the audio. I think this is it. Ready? Look at this.
I'm glad he acknowledges that I'm a good boy. I am a good boy.
I've been waiting a couple of weeks to see Big Daddy come home.
Daddy hates leaks in the house.
It's like Daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off,
Daddy Trump is who we're going to oppose or something like that.
Daddy just gave him a spanking.
Daddy's back.
Personalized bunker buster from Daddy Trump.
Now Europe's calling him Daddy. And Daddy likes it.
You're my daddy.
So I guess if they're doing that, yeah, Newsom, go around saying everyone's your children or their daddy. But the one that was interesting, who is that actor again in the thing who said taking the belt off? Y'all know, I'm blanking on his name. But that is a reminder of how insane it is that people, I guess still, but definitely in the past, hit their kids with belts. Because think about how, the hitting is bad in and of itself. But think about the imagery of what he said, which was dad comes home and takes his belt off. And as a kid, how traumatic it would be. Many of you, I'm sure, experienced this. To have your dad arrive home, and I guess he's saying Trump's arriving home and getting things in order, and he starts taking his clothes off, like his belt. And so then you don't know either he's taking his pants off, which is not something I want to see, or he's about to hit me with that belt. That's a really scary moment, for sure. How am I blanking on that guy?
It's completely...
The guy...
He's on Joe Rogan.
Scratching his neck. This
I cannot remember.
Driving me crazy. Okay. And then you have Newsom saying that they're selling on his merch site knee pads for all of the people who are groveling to Trump, but the knee pads denote something a little vulgar.
You will be seeing on my Patriot site new knee pads that I'll be sending out, the new signature series knee pads for all these CEOs, for the University of Virginia that I'll add to the list today, for bending their knee, for those law firms, the universities, media companies as this guy's rolling back, rewriting history, putting us back to pre-1960s world, censoring historic facts. Wake up, everybody.
So, there's plenty of criticisms. At least this week, I don't know if this will be permanent. I'm in a little bit of a whatever mood. Just whatever. Because people will do these. Is it the correct strategy for Newsom to be selling knee pads? To saying like that the people are like on their knees, like, doing Trump. Like, that whole thing. Even when Piers Morgan posted that photo of Trump with the knee pads on. But Mel Gibson was the name of the actor. And I think. And people will go, is that inappropriate? Is Newsom stooping to Trump's level when he does social media like Trump? Is mimicking Trump going low? And smart people should have those debates, and they should do the polling on it, and they should test out different strategies. And there is a place for that. This week, and we'll see what happens next week, just F it. Kind of that feeling. Let's just try. Throw everything at the wall. I don't care. Sell knee pads. What the heck? Look at Trump's out there being like, oh, this guy made me really rich, so he gets a pardon. And we're over here, well, will people be offended that knee pads denote something slightly sexual? I don't care. Whatever.